Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So, let's dive into it. Videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, what do you think of laid back guitars? That was tonight's music. Sadly, I didn't have good winter footage to go with it, but I did the best I could since winter starts tomorrow here in the US, because tomorrow's December 21st. Hopefully we get more snow for many reasons. Chief among them, not YouTube footage. It's we need moisture because it's flipping dry here. But anyway, let me know what you think of the music. I'm also trying lower lighting, both on the writing sample and on me. I kind of forgot that I can adjust the lighting intensity with this system, so I'm just trying it out lower. So let me know what you think. I can adjust exposure to compensate. It just hopefully is making less obvious shadows. Oh, and the main topic, what are your feelings on when something vintage dies? Let us know down in the comments. These are the pens I've been using this week, and by the way, I am trying less light, which sounds counterintuitive, but I'm trying that on the pens and just seeing how that works. So, from left to right, we have the Pilot Custom 823, Nakaya Decapod Twist, Parker 51, the original, not the new version, Senator 210, Lamy 2000 with the amber finish, a Reform Brown. I don't know a model. Columbus 65 and a Senator. Let's call it long blind cap because I don't know a model. As always, I will be doing this review with my cognitive surplus. The cognitive surplus theory notebook. Alright, so the first pen is my Pilot Custom 823. So I have a sad story of woe as to why this is my daily writer at the moment. One day of school left. This is going to be inked up over the holiday break. No, I inked it up tonight right before filming Pens in Use. Why? Well, stay tuned to the end and I'll talk about that. But vacuum filler pen. This is my first expensive fountain pen. And, no, it's not a very exciting pen. I think of Pilot as like the Toyota of fountain pens. Or what was that old show? I wonder if the nib is up. No, it's not. Oh, it was some old movie I remember watching when I was younger than 14, but I don't know how old I was. It was about somebody getting into advertising. So they came up with honest advertising slogans, like they called Volvos, boxy but good. Wish I could remember the name of the movie. I never saw it. I just saw the preview and was amused because at the time my family owned a Volvo 240, which is what I learned to drive on when I got older. So this is a Pilot Custom 823. It is a good pen. I really like this pen for writing, especially in the summer when I'm not capping and uncapping and doing notes like that. This is my favorite. During school, when a lot of my writing involves capping and uncapping, not so much, but this is awesome in the summer. And this has Omas black. And I kind of struggled to get the ink out of the bottle. So I've transferred the remaining Omas black into this old TWSBI. I don't remember the model number, but you used to be able to screw one of TWSBI's pens into... No, you didn't screw, did you? I'm trying to remember what the heck you did. Well, maybe you screwed. Yeah, I think you screwed the pen in here. That sounds right. Anyway, it was their VAC 700 that you screwed in here. I didn't even bother trying to screw the pilot into it because I know it won't fit. It was designed for one pen only, which I no longer own. And really no interest in getting another one. My TWSBI experience, I mean, one of my favorite pens I own, a TWSBI Draco, is a TWSBI. There were a number of pens that were good, but I just had others I liked better. And then some of my most crack-prone pens were TWSBIs. And I don't have enough experience with new TWSBIs to know if that's still a problem or if they've fixed it. Draco's awesome. I do love my Draco. The next pen, now that I bashed that, is this beautiful Nakaya Decapod Twist. We'll just let you drink in the finish. Yes, it's a fingerprint magnet. But it's a Rushi, so it may possibly survive a nuclear war. I baby it, though. When this pen's not in use, it's in its little pen kimono. So, we have the Nakaya Decapod Twist. And I got the soft fine nib in this one. I own another Nakaya that I had nibs.com grind to extra flexible soft fine. The ink in that one, this one I can use like for regular writing. That one is more like fun writing, and that's about it. So the ink in this one is Akkerman, Groenmarkt Smaragd. It's a very nice green. I've said that every week. Just a very... oh, shoot. Very natural seeming green. I love their bottles. I haven't found a color from them that I'm particularly excited about. I bought this one years ago from Anderson Pens. Now I hear Anderson Pens is going out of business, which is sad to hear, especially since it seems to be partly due to COVID and partly due to a questionable choice in buying a storefront in Chicago. Hate to see them go because they're one that I like. I don't do much endorsing retailers. I'm not sponsored by any retailer at all, but they're one I've always liked, and hate to see them go. They've added a lot to the community, and one thing I've always appreciated, they've been my primary source of vintage pen supplies, so yeah, now I'll be looking somewhere else, I guess. I do have other suppliers, those couple of things I couldn't find there. So the pen I was waving in front of you while I waxed on about that, Parker 51, this is the original. I have no interest in owning the new version. One thing, this has been a busy 2 weeks. So I think it's been about 2 weeks since I wrote with this pen. You might have noticed there was no pens in use last week. So last night when I was trying to write with this pen, this was all covered with crusties. Wasky Squirrel was not amused, but it did start right up after I wiped them off. So this is the Parker 51. No clue about the nib size. It's a Parker, so that could be a fine. That could be an extra fine. But anyway, the ink, I actually like its color. Krishna Ghat green. And one of my kind Indian viewers informed me that Ghat, green. Wow. One of my kind Indian viewers informed me that Ghat is a mountain pass, and so thank you for that. Some of it is cultural references that you just don't get because you're not Indian. And so that's one that I do get. You know, I think of some of the inks we have here in the U.S., like Noodler's inks, and you'd just be like, why is it called Noodler's Apache Sunset? And if you're not from the United States, you have no clue. This is the Senator 210. This is one of those rare Senators where I actually know its name and model number. One thing I want to try, or this is a screw cap. One thing I want to try, I did a rodeo about some reform pens. I want to do a rodeo where I get some reforms and some Senators, and maybe some Toes Pencalas together. Because they did a lot together. Mertz and Krell, but I think they were part of Senator. Anyway, this has one of my favorite inks in it. And this is just a steel nib. Speaking of... Oh wait, I lie. Well, no, maybe I don't. Shoot. Okay, I didn't lie. That's a steel nib. Anyway, I like this pen. I don't know why I haven't inked it up in such a long time. Very much of its era. The ink is Pelikan 4001 Violet. Violet. Ho, ho, ho. No, it's German, so we won't do our Pepe Le Pew version of a French accent. It's kind of amazing how culture has changed. What when I was a kid was totally acceptable, like Pepe Le Pew. Now people are like, eep, consent. And yeah, we've gotten wiser as a culture. So let's see here. There it is. So, not a lot left. I got a few more pens I'll be filling with it. What is it? Yeah, it's like a quarter of the bottle is left if I tip it on its side. So, we're getting down there. Alright, and then we get the lovely... This was one of my expensive pens that I used YouTube funds to pay for. This is an expensive Lamy 2000 with the amber finish, and a lot of people were just so disappointed in this pen. And I just kept going, but it's beautiful. And so I waited a couple years and was able to get one at a lower cost. I kind of like their green version now, but I think that one is more popular and is definitely going to become a collector's deal. So this ink in it is Lamy Turquoise, which is proven to be one of my favorite of the turquoises as I've drawn down my collection of ink. Just a very nice shade of turquoise, and it, more importantly, it behaves well on the paper I use it on. Yeah, that's one thing I can trust with some of these brands like Lamy or Pelikan or Parker's. They're going to behave themselves on lower quality paper. Whereas some of your more boutique inks, who knows? Alright, and then we get my Reform chocolate brown not covered, ick. We're not going to cover a pen with chocolate. I don't even like chocolate. Chocolate brown flavor pen. That sounded stupid. Anyway, I will stop talking and talk about the pen. I'm trying to show you the flippin' logo, and I can't quite turn it right. There we go. It's an R with wings. Oops, and it's a snap cap, not a twist cap, as I discover the barrel coming off in my hand. So this one has a nice gold nib. Probably a fine, I don't know. Don't know, we'll just write. So this is a Reform. Whoops. I enjoy the shading that this pen gives with this ink. The ink is Herbin, J. Herbin. Lee Day, sorry. which apparently means tea leaves in French. I drew a blank last week, but I should have known that from the color. I'm drinking tea right now. It's not true tea, it's what they call herbal tea. And it's not even made from leaves, it's made from flowers. It's Tahitian butterfly tea. It's, if you could see it, it's blue. And if you put lemon in it, it turns hot pink. But I'm drinking it in a black colored mug, so I'm not even going to bother showing you. I drink a lot of tea in the winter, and especially in the evening, I don't want to drink caffeine, so I tried decaf coffee, but it's so awful. So I drink I drink herbal tea, or sometimes regular tea, because it's got lower caffeine. So this is a Columbus 65. Kind of a Aurora 88 clone. Even down to the semi-hooded nib. The ink in this one is another Herbin. Bleu Myosotis. I think it's a very nice color. I don't know if I'll ever buy another bottle of it. I have more blue ink than God. But it is a very nice blue. And I've been enjoying using up the last dregs of this bottle. The absolutely absurd heart-shaped bottle that it came in. Is it up here? Don't see it. Oh, I do see it. Just a second, I'll show you. I have kept the bottle just because, I mean, what? This was a good idea? And it's just sealed with a cork. It's not even sealed with, anything special. So yeah, there you be. Just hit my light putting that away. And my last pen, inked up at the last, well, no, this wasn't inked up at the last minute. Never mind, that was my Pilot Custom 823, it was the last minute. But this is a lot like the pen that had the disaster. So this is Senator Long Blind Cap. Named so because this is a metal blind cap. This whole length here is a metal blind cap that attaches up here. Why? Don't know. So, lacking a proper model name, we just call it Senator Long Blind Cap. I've had viewers tell me that I should do political humor with all my senator pens, and yeah, politics is a good way to get in trouble as a YouTube channel. Well, I voted for the orange guy, and you don't like the orange guy? Gasp! I'll never watch your channel again, and neither will any of my friends. So, I don't mind diving into controversy, but we don't need to do that over fountain pens. Let's do it over other issues. So this is a scented ink, which is always interesting. And I think it smells like roses. I used to have a rose bush in front of my house, but since it was right next to the foundation when I bought the house, it had to come out. Because sometimes those bushes look really good when they're little, and then as they get bigger, they start pushing their little rootsies into the foundation. And suddenly you have much more expensive problems, so you know how that goes. Alright, so those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. First thing, I want to address the music. I'll let you know exactly where it is, and then, unless Sayonara comes back, the next time the only mentions you'll hear of music from now on are just going to be I'm trying this piece. Let me know what you think. And finally, here's a video that has all 4 pieces. Let me know your favorite. That's what you have to look forward to. But I will update you on the status of the music. The claim was released, not because they said, oh, yeah, you do have the copyright, just because they pursued no further action. Why did that happen? My suspicion is that they looked at the size of my channel and said, okay, it's going to cost us more in lawyer fees than it's going to cost us just to let it go. And meanwhile, they'll know that every single time I upload, I'm going to get a copyright strike. And again, don't know the genuine status of the ownership of the music. At this point, I don't care anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore. So unless something magical happens with Sayonara, we're going to say Sayonara to Sayonara. So tonight, I'm trying out one by Kevin MacLeod again. This one is called Laid Back Guitars. This one I thought was a little sadder. I'm going to end with some kind of sad driving footage to go with it. But I thought it was kind of sad. It wasn't as upbeat an opening. I found 2 that I felt were fairly upbeat and 2 that I thought were more sad. So we're going to try both. And I like this piece, but I feel like it's not a pens and use piece. But I am biasing you, who are supposed to be telling me what you think. So don't let me bias you. Just let me know what you think of the piece and where I could use it. So enough on that. So last week. Sorry, this is a note from when I thought I'd be doing a pens and use last week, and it just ran out of time. So last week I did a rodeo on different reform pens. You didn't see any of them tonight because I'm planning, with my breakup coming, to do a couple more rodeos starring the reform pens and some Senators and some Toes Pencala pens. So look forward to that. As far as results of the rodeo, I learned a couple of things. One of the big things I learned is that even the reform nibs are actually Bach nibs. Didn't know that before. And it was actually also because I did that video that I got the idea that, oh yeah, Senator and Toes Pencala have a lot in common with reform. So these smaller manufacturers cooperated sometimes. So I just feel like I need to do a video where I talk about that. I also did a video on the Pilot Parallel this week. Pilot Parallel I've owned for a number of years. Weirdly enough, I bought it the year of COVID. Imagine that. Pilot Parallel is a fun nib to lay down a lot of ink. But for the most part, I will use use those pens for one thing. Like maybe I want to write Happy Holidays on all my letters that are going out this time of year, or Happy Easter, or whatever. And then they basically sit unused most of the year. Now, if I ever get that 1 ink, 9 pens series off the ground that I keep talking about, I'd like to do a title with a Pilot Parallel. But, not something I use a lot. So as far as holiday cards, I'm not much of a card exchanger. Especially these cards that, Happy Holidays from the Johnson family, and, oh, Happy Holidays from Mosky Squirrel. I guess we're keeping in touch once a year that we know we have each other's addresses, and oh yeah, one year we don't get one from the Johnson family, and that's because Grandma Johnson, who always wrote the Christmas card, died, and her kids or grandkids don't know how to use her address book or whatever. I'm not into that. I get those form letters from a few people. This is what the Johnson family's been up to. And I'm sorry, I just realized I do know some people named Johnson, so that was not a comment on you if you ever see this. That was the first name that popped into my head. But, and we don't exchange Christmas cards or Christmas letters, so there is that. But anyway, you get these pre-printed letters. Oh, this is what the Johnson family's been doing this year. This is what Billy did in basketball, and here's Susie playing her flute, and she was a track star this year, and she ran the distance run. She was a 600-meter state champ, and all that stuff. And you're just like, well, I taught school for another year. So I don't get into that too much. It is kind of nice sometimes to hear what everybody's up to, but anybody who's getting something from me this time of year, it's personalized and written to you. I just never got into the holiday card thing. That's me. My grandparents would, every holiday card they got, they'd have them all hung up all around the living room. Not me. Maybe I'm boring, but I don't really get that many. Maybe it's a dying fad. I don't know. With the holidays coming, here, at least here in the United States, so sorry if this doesn't apply to your country, but with the holidays coming, I'm hoping to do 1 or 2 live streams, maybe more. Work on topics. The ones I have planned, I will announce in advance. I will just tell you, for New Year's, I don't go to the bar. I don't even like to go to New Year's Eve parties and that whole, okay guys, it's 2025 coming, let's all count down. No. I don't want to be up late enough to count down to 2025. So don't expect a New Year's Eve live stream, except I might do one, just do it earlier than midnight. So I am actually seriously thinking about doing one on New Year's Eve. Heck, maybe for New Year's Day, for those of us who don't get plastered New Year's Eve, you can all join me, because I'm not planning on getting plastered. My main topic tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about vintage things and their fragility. So, here I've got a typewriter made in 1954. That makes it 70 years old. My father remarked to me the other day, and I'll keep his privacy, he's a year or two older than 74, or 70. No, he's not 74. The 4 just slipped in because of the years there. But anyway, he just said, you're calling these things that were made after I was born vintage. I don't like that. And yeah, it's 70 years old. I'm scared to run updates on it because I think it will take hours to update 70 years worth of updates on this typewriter. You saw, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vintage pens tonight. All of them older than me, except I don't think the Senator 210 is older than me. I think that's younger than me. But the rest of them are... Okay, I don't know about the Reform. I honestly have no clue about that one. Brown makes me think 70s, but it could also be 80s. But anyway, and then I teach students who are all like, what's an Atari? Or they were asking me what was my gaming console when I was a kid, and I really didn't have one. So, for multiple reasons, but I played a few video games, but didn't like them, and mostly video games until I got late into high school were played on the arcade at the grocery store. You'd feed it quarters to play the game. There were the Ataris. My family had a TI-99 4A. I want to say I was in maybe 8th grade or 9th grade when Nintendo came out. Never had one in my family. So I missed all that. But I was thinking about vintage things and their fragility. If a part breaks on this typewriter, well, what am I going to do? Hopefully I can find one on another similar typewriter and scavenge. Because they don't make them anymore. And I got put in that mind today because I was proctoring a test with the freshman, and I felt something move in my pocket. And I reached down, And I'm like, oh shoot, my pen's uncapped. Because the pen in question was actually what I have called on this channel Senator Silver Fox. It's my kind of grayish black pen with got a matte finish, and it has a very nice brushed chrome cap. And it's just a slip cap, and I was keeping it in my pants pocket. I should have had it up here, but I didn't. I put it in my pants pocket. And I thought, well, it came uncapped. Hopefully it didn't leak too much. I reached in, pulled out the cap, pulled out the pen body, and oh, the pen body is no longer attached to the section. It broke. I don't remember it breaking. I don't remember anything at all about that. The only thing I know for a fact is when I filled that pen up, I was struggling to get a full fill. Because I remember thinking as I was going to school today, I wonder if I should put more ink in it. And then I thought, nah, it'll be okay. Worst case, I use something else. And yeah, it was broken. So my feeling, because I've never had that problem with the pen, is that it was in the process of breaking already. And then the act of writing in my pocket today did it in. So I went online and I found one. Fun fact, I found one for less than I paid for this one, so there is that. But how sad. And I don't know how to get the section out of that cap either. I tried taking the cap apart and I can't get at the inside. So I will probably keep part of that for spare parts. I've got a spare parts bin. But yeah, they're not making them anymore. That's one more gone from the universe. And these vintage pens, these vintage typewriters, I don't collect vintage radio equipment or vintage lights or vintage silverware or anything, but people do. Nobody's making that anymore, and year after year, more and more of it disappears to fire, to breakage, to wearing out, to carelessness, to people inheriting and saying, oh, these are grandma's old dishes, pitch them. What's the stupid light with the stained glass? Who wants that? Who's Tiffany? You know, then it's gone. There used to be a show called Antiques Roadshow. It was all about these finds in your attic or relatives' attics that, ooh, look at this. And it's worth money. And most of them, of course, were not worth money. They'd always have one or two that was worth money. But anyway, this is the tea I was talking about that I'm drinking. That's Bleu. But anyway, that's one of the things with vintage is it's broken forever. Now, a few years ago, back before COVID, I date a lot of things in my life to COVID. First day of school, I brought my Lamy 2000 to school with me. No, it wasn't first day of school. No, it was. First day of school. Sorry, I was thinking if it was after a holiday, but it wasn't. First day of school, and I wrote a couple things down, set it down just real quick on my, I don't really have a desk, so let's say my table, because I have a rolly cart that is called my desk. And it rolled off, went toward the floor, nib first, and went bloop, and bought a new nib for it, but it turned out there were all kinds of hairline cracks, and it just leaked ink like a sieve all over the place. So I was mad. I was sad. I was rebuking myself, going, stupid, stupid, stupid. But in the end, I just bought a new Lamy 2000, and life has gone on for the years since then. But when you break a vintage pen, that's all she wrote. Now, did I go to eBay the instant I got to my house and order a replacement? Yes, I did. There were two of them out there on eBay, and now there's only one, and this one's a bidding one. So you're going to have to bid for it if you want it. But the one I bought was just straight price and only $5 more than the one you have to bid on. So I thought, That's the one. There's also one that... I lie. There's also one that comes with a... I can't remember if it's a ballpoint or a pencil, but I'm matching either ballpoint or pencil, but I don't want that. Why would I pay the extra money for it? So I didn't. But anyway, yeah, I was scared it wouldn't be out there. Now, something less common, like let's say Senator Long blind cap, I may be sugar out of luck for finding a replacement for that. So I've never seen another one, ever. So that's part of why vintage gets its collector's value. And that's why some people who collect vintage are purely collectors. They buy it, and then they store it, and they never use it. Now me, I have one or two pens like that because they're so fragile. But for the most part, to my mind, if I can't use it, what's the point of having it? I don't mind having it if the point is I'm going to repair it and then use it. The older brother of this guy is one such project. But yeah, I don't want a bunch of useless stuff sitting around because I'm in a 672 square foot house. I can't do that. And yeah, that helps me think about things like books and typewriters and whatever else I choose to bring into my house. So, but I'm a user, so I guess that brings me to you. Are you a vintage user or a vintage collector, or do you avoid vintage altogether? Maybe you don't want the stress or the headaches that come with vintage. Let us know down in the comments. So, I want to thank you for watching, and if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, and a lot of other random topics, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, what do you think of the music I'm trying tonight, laid back guitars? Too sad? Does it match my channel? I do think it matches the driving footage, so there is that. Let us know down in the comments. And finally, what is your view on using vintage pens? Do you buy them to display them and collect them? Do you buy them to use them? Or do you buy them to repair them and then shuffle them on? Or do you just not want to be bothered and rather stick with the new fountain pens? Let us know down in the comments. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.